Hey, how's it going, everyone? Saintsfan here. Welcome to another GTA 5 video. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about the potential DLCs happening. We'll start with the online, and then we'll touch on single player. I just wanted to give you guys an update on all the leaks, all the rumors, all the news and information that we have. So first things first, and this is the stuff that we already do know about the Lowriders Part 2. There's going to be at least 2 new weapons, the double barrel shotgun and the AK-74U. The cars that are going to be in it are the Faction 3, the Minivan 2, the Sabre GT2, the Slam Van 3, the Tornado 5, the Virgo 2, and the Virgo 3. And you guys saw the 2 pictures, the 2 like vinyls, I guess, or liveries, whatever you want to call them, for 2 of those cars. There were also 3 animations that Dragoon leaked way back in the day. Now, that's the information that we already do know. Getting into things that we don't know, and this isn't anything official. Obviously, this is just from people, respected and trustworthy in the community. The first one we'll take a look at here. This is from Yan. So somebody asked him on Twitter, do you know when the DLC will be coming to GTA 5? Someone said February. He actually responded by saying you should probably not expect a big DLC for February, which is kind of interesting. Somebody then replied to that, I thought Lowriders 2 was expected to come out in February, and Yan replied back with, that's what some people expect, but they are most likely wrong. Now, the reason I'm showing this is because according to Yan, a few weeks or months back, I think, he did say that him and Fun MW2, they actually share the same source as to like where they get their information from. Like Yan also knew about the Liberty City leaks, but he decided not to post them just because he didn't want people to go as crazy as they did. The interesting part about this, if this is true, and let's just say the Lowriders Part 2 or whatever it's going to be called is coming out in March instead of February, then that'll mean we'll go 2 months without a new DLC. Now, they could obviously re-release, I guess, the Valentine's Day stuff as a little placeholder to hold us off until that new DLC. However, it'll just be interesting to see if that actually happens. If they were holding it back till March, my guess would be because they are adding a bunch of stuff to it. The next thing we're going to take a look at is from Dragoon, and this was actually on a French forum, and it's translated with Google, so if it sounds weird, that's why. But he says, I remain convinced that there will be no other DLC other than Lowriders 2, which will arrive shortly, and probably with the reactivation of the Valentine's Day stuff. He also says a big content release for early March as every year just to compete or to complete the fiscal year for Rockstar in Take-Two. And he says if there was going to be some giant DLC, single player or multiplayer, that's not going to be before March. No, I don't think we will see a single player DLC in March because that's too soon, I think. My bet is still on the summer. However, he does bring up a good point. There hasn't really been a big DLC for them in this fiscal year, which is from last April until this March 31st, if I remember correctly. Like, Heist came out before that, and there hasn't really been a giant DLC. Now, there's been like 10 or so, but there hasn't really been that huge one. And going back to what Yan said, maybe they are trying to cram as much as possible into this next Lowriders 2 DLC. Maybe they'll call it like Thug Life DLC, or they'll rename it to something else, but I mean, at the core, it'll have the Lowriders features in it. We might see some more Lamar missions. Maybe they'll even open up another custom shop, not Benny's, but for, say, supercars or sports cars. Maybe that's why they're taking so long on announcing this. They're trying to get all this stuff ready. And that's kind of what Dragoon says in this next post. He mentions how, it started as Lowriders 2. That's what it's called. So at the core of it, it's going to be a Lowriders, or it's going to remain the Lowrider theme first, but they could add some, West Coast stuff potentially. And he also says that, instead of adding new cars, maybe they do go back and add a lot more customization to the old cars. Because I think that's, what a lot of people would like. Instead of having to spend, millions of dollars on new cars, how about we go back to the cars that we actually like and we actually enjoy driving around and give us some more customization? That'd be really cool. So that's all the information that we have on the online stuff. Again, it's not much, but it is interesting to note that we might not see this Lowriders 2 DLC until March, and we might just have the Valentine's Day DLC, if even that, in February. Now, before I do hop into the little bit I have about the single player stuff, just know that, again, this is speculation. Like I mentioned in a video I did a couple days ago, none of this would happen if Rockstar would just come out and say something, but that's not what they do, so we're going to sit here and speculate. Now, the single player stuff, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. And I know this first thing I'm going to show isn't the most relevant because it's from an article way, way back in like 2013, I think. But if we actually read this is from an IGN article. On their newswire back in the day, one of the developers said they have big plans for substantial additions in 2014, continuing Michael Franklin and Trevor's action, mayhem, and unexpected adventures in southern San Andreas. So by them releasing that on their newswire way back in the day, we at least know that a single-player DLC was on the board. Something that really is interesting is the fact that Leslie Benzies, like the president of Rockstar North, the fact that he went on a sabbatical 17 months ago, which would be August or around August 2014, that might have had something to do with the lack of single-player DLC. Also, if we think about it this way, maybe they were waiting for all the platforms to have GTA come out on them. You know, PC hasn't even been out for a year yet. So if we just take a look at that, I know it's been almost 3 years for the Xbox 360 and the PS3, but the last console to get GTA 5 PC came out in April of last year, so it's not even been a full 12 months. And the last thing that I found interesting that I wanted to share with you guys about the single player stuff, so Ned Luke obviously a few days ago posted on his Facebook page that they're going to be doing Sean Fantino and Stephen Ogg, they're going to be doing going to a convention where you can meet them and all that. The interesting part about that is not them actually doing it, but the fact that this was planned for a pretty long time. If we take a look at this is the same picture that Sean Fantino, the guy who plays Franklin, he posted on his Instagram 22 weeks ago. So this isn't something new that just sprung up. This is something that's been in the works for a while. And it's just interesting that it's finally happening after all this DLC talk is coming out about the episodes from Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. Also, one little side thing, going back to this picture from Sean Fantino's Instagram, somebody said, and I have no idea if it's true or not, but they analyzed this picture, right? They took his shoes, and apparently the shoes he's wearing, even though you can barely see them, they're New Balance shoes, and they came out like 1 or 2 months ago. So because of that, they were saying this is relatively recent, and maybe he's there shooting stuff for either the episodes for Franklin, you know, for his solo or single player DLC, or maybe even something for online. If we head to Liberty City, maybe he comes with us, or maybe he's even a part of the Lamar missions in the Lowriders Part 2. Maybe that's how they introduce Franklin into the world of GTA Online. I don't know. It is definitely interesting, all this stuff that I mentioned. I just wish, like I said, Rockstar would come out and just give us something to grasp onto and not speculate so much. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. See you guys in the next video. Drop a like if you did enjoy, subscribe, all that stuff. And as always, it's your boy Saintsfan. I'm out. Peace.